Welcome to the DJNTV Chill Room Chat, your space to unwind and talk shop. This episode is sponsored by MadeByDJs.com, innovative tools designed specifically by DJs for DJs. DJEventPlanner.com, the industry standard for streamlining your business and booking faster. And DJRequests.com, the easiest way to manage your dance floor's vibe in real time. Support the show by using our Amazon affiliate link at DJNTV.com/Amazon. Now, let's get into the mix.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of this KJ Chaos that we call fun. I hope you enjoy watching it as well. And I know that you've, if you're tuning in, you're on YouTube right now, youtube.com/DiscJockeyNews. And thank you for tuning in. Please leave a comment below. Our sponsors tonight are great. They're always great because we wouldn't be here if they weren't here. Matt, who's one?
DJ Event Planner.
DJEventPlanner.com. Check them out. Kevin, what do you got?
Well, I am familiar with EV or electrovoice.com.
Awesome. And then, you know what? I use them for my KJ shows. Just to say,
That's right.
and yeah, and Matt, on Facebook, our KJ group, what is it called? How can they find us?
That's KJ's helping KJ's.
That's it?
Just go on Facebook and search KJ's helping KJ's.
Well, that's just as boring as this show. You couldn't have named it something better, you know?
That's what it's called.
KJ's helping KJ's. So if you got any questions, just become a member and fire a question in there and we'll have a discussion.
Yeah.
Kevin, how can they join us live every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern?
That's right. It's 7 p.m. Eastern. It is www.djntv.com/KJ Chill. And you too can be here with these two fine feathered friends.
And record a show with us.
That's right. We welcome all, we respect all, and we appreciate you all joining us. If you have a question, we'll answer it live on the show, and you'll get your 15 seconds of fame on YouTube.
Woo! And win a T-shirt with Kevin in the nude. So that's worth, just showing up for, Kevin, we love you, and I don't even want that T-shirt. He keeps trying to send them to me, and I write on it, return to sender.
Just see the one I got. I got one of him in a Speedo.
Oh, God. You know what? I think I just threw up in my mouth.
Oh.
Shut up. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on because Matt found a cool topic. And again, we're downgraded to 20 minutes because we suck, evidently. But so let's get this out of the way. Go, Matt.
Okay. KJ wondered, I recently had to miss a show due to illness. The venue found a different KJ to host for that night, and that KJ ended up getting the gig permanently. My question is, if the venue were to contact me to return if the new KJ didn't work out, should I charge them more, stay at the previous rate, or turn them down completely?
Kevin, your thoughts on that question, please.
Well, it sort of factors in depending on how long I've been let loose, and if I got a fill-in for that night, then it's like, sorry, I'm occupado. I'm not going to wait around pining for you to come back. So if I have another event I was like, sorry, I'm not available. If you want me to, I can find someone if you're strictly on that night, or if you want to move off of that night. And depending on what night it is, it might be more or it might be the same. If I'm free on that day still, and they're wanting to have me come back, I guess I would sort of, depending on how long I've been there at that previous rate, I would probably move up from there.
Mm-hmm.
It would be, somewhat higher,
Mm-hmm.
unless for some reason they went from, like, say, 4 or 5 hours and they wanted to go down to 3. Then maybe it might be the same. But I think for basically starting anew, we're starting at a new higher rate.
So it's kind
Very
of a
cool.
put your money where your mouth is kind of a situation. How
Yeah,
bad do you want me to come back?
yeah, it's like, you sort of stuck your foot in that, so it's sort of like it's almost like a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like,
Yeah.
you're starting anew, and it's like, well, this is the rate if I were charging someone that I'd never worked before, because your rate never usually over time, because of inflation, because we love inflation.
Mm.
It never goes down, so it's always the same or up. So I would say up. You know, my thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love your thought. I love the way you put
I
that out,
analyze everything.
Kevin. Right. No, I like how you said that because a lot of what you just said, I agree. But no, but I'm sorry. But means I agree, but I didn't mean but. Take that but out. No, I agree with a lot of what you said.
Mm.
I believe we in general run a business, right?
Mm.
And I do think that we can bluff, right? Bluff just as much as that venue bluffs. Like let's just say you say, I want $50 more a night, or I gotta find somewhere else. And they'll say, and now they'll bluff and say, well, go ahead, I'm not giving it to you. What do you do
Mm-hmm.
at that point? Same thing, same scenario, right? I know I'm turning this around a little bit because
Yeah.
I think Kevin already answered this question perfectly. And his answer that I think I'm very, I'm like, wow, because he took like a lot of my answers for this
Mm.
answer, for this question.
Your fault. You told me to go first.
Well, and you know what? I'm glad I told you to go first. You made
That's
my
even
job
more
easier.
screwed, I guess, because he hasn't given his 2 thoughts or 2 cents.
Well, I'm going to give my 2 cents.
Mm.
And I agree with you 100%, Kevin. It's like the first thing you got to think about is, okay, I became ill, right? You were ill, you had somebody cover it. How many weeks are you ill where this person covered and kept doing your gig? That was not announced in this question,
Agreement.
right?
Right.
Right. No, in this guy's
Yeah.
question.
Right. Yep. Didn't say
This
how.
new
Like,
person was made permanent, but
right. Let's just say he was only out 2 weeks and the club replaced him
Yep.
with this guy. I think that's very unfair of the club. And if they call me after 3, 4 weeks, I would say, stick it. You
Yeah.
know, I was sick, period.
now that is one of the.
Now, if this guy was out for a month or two, then I get where they would say, okay, now this guy's kind of get his following in here, right? Which is going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and things are going great. I get it, you know?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what you were saying, Kevin, or am I wrong?
Well, no, because the way he
Hmm.
worded the question, it was a one-off. Couldn't make it. Another one filled in, and from there they just made him permanent, which
I
means
didn't get that out of that question, though.
Isn't that
I
what you,
was left in the air of how long this guy was ill. Matt,
I
what
think
are
it was
your
just
thoughts?
one event, and then they made the switch with this
I
filling.
don't think it was just one from the way, but that's me. Go
Well,
ahead, Matt. What do you take on this?
You know,
Please.
for
how
me, I think
question, I guess, and then your answer.
I mean
Yeah,
it's
I
a
guess. Yeah. Reread the question and then your answer.
okay.
Just refresh everybody's memory because I think
Sure.
we're all confused at this
Okay.
point.
I recently had to miss a show
A show one. Thank you, Kevin. There you go. Okay.
due to
Well,
illness. The venue found a
mhm.
different KJ to host that night, and that KJ ended up getting the gig permanently. So it sounds like he was only gone for a week.
Yes,
See,
that's
I
the way I
disagree
read it.
with the venue and everything at
And
this
the
point.
venue's in the wrong because they should. Well, what should have happened is the KJ, the original,
Mm.
should have tried to find his own replacement for him. But then when you put you
Ah,
put the burden on the venue, then it's like,
mhm.
well, we found someone else. We like that person. Or what I find a lot of times, it's like, you want 300. We found this guy will do it for 100. Eh,
Or 200. Right.
well,
We're going to
Hmm.
save 100.
yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
save some money. But then what
Yeah.
happens over time is that $100 or $200 person is losing the audience because maybe they saved money, but the fans or the patrons said this sort of is not.
That register is not ringing up
That's
like
why
it
then all
would.
of a sudden they
Right.
sort of come back to you and ask you to be the savior, but then you have to say, do you want to or not? That's how I got the assessment.
Hmm.
That's why I
Yeah.
said what I said.
I
So,
misunderstood the question somehow. I didn't hear a gig.
Yeah.
I just heard I was ill and had to replace it.
right.
So, Matt, go ahead with what
So
would you do, please?
I mean, this
Yeah.
actually, I mean, to a point, kind of happened to me. Like over, the weekend before Christmas came along. I was in the hospital for a weekend,
Mhm.
and I got out on a Tuesday, and I told the venue that I was able to work that night, but they said, nope, you know what? You take the night off, rest, recover. I'm like, I've been resting and recovering for the last like 3 days in the hospital bed,
Right.
you
So,
know.
meanwhile, you were only out one night and still recovering, correct? Or no?
I that weekend I missed 3 shows, four.
Oh, okay. See, now this turns into something different, but go
Yep.
ahead.
So I
Yeah.
missed my Friday show, my Saturday show, my Sunday show, and then my Tuesday show. I missed every. I have 4 shows in my schedule, and I missed all of them that week.
But those were
So
different shows, Eric. Remember that.
different venues,
They're not all the same place.
right? All different venues. Yep.
Okay, I get it.
So that Tuesday when I got out of the hospital, I had told them that, they called me and asked me, you know, are you able to work tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'm able to work, because the day before I had a doctor tell me, you know, uh, you're going to be out of work for a while. Plan on being out of work for a while because you need to stay off your feet, butt in
I
the chair,
remember you.
leg in
Yeah.
the air, right? Well, then he changed his tune the next day when I said, well, you know, when I'm at my shows, I can sit in a chair, put my leg up, just like if I'm sitting at home, you know? And so he changed his tune, and then I was able to go back to work. So that day they called me, the venue called me and asked me, are you able to work? And I said, well, yeah, well, why don't you just take one more night off? We've already got I guess my brother found somebody to cover for you tonight, whatever, right? Okay. And they brought in
Right away, that's a red flag. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And so I c- and I know who these guys are, and they are undercutters
Uh,
when
Mhm.
they prey on vulnerable KJs that are, like when they're sick,
yeah.
they jump in to cover for, people, and then they try to steal the shows. So, and they brought in a younger crowd, but they were singing raunchy songs in a venue that's high class. And then on top of that, a lot of my regulars went in there too just to check it out. And they wanted to sing certain songs that, like this one guy has he's got to sing a certain song
Oh,
in a
for God's
certain
sakes.
version.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying?
And that
And
company didn't
and
have
and they didn't have it.
it. So,
And so he tried other songs, and he didn't have any of the songs that he wanted to sing. So, and then the feedback that the managers got the next day
negative.
were really bad, even though they brought in the younger crowd, and the younger crowd is full of drinkers, and they were ringing the tills all night.
Yeah, they were getting bad publicity at this point. They're like, bring Matt
Well,
back, right?
So
yeah, they
yeah, yep.
Mm, mm.
So it's kind of like a catch 22 in a way because yeah, they made money that night, but then when it comes down to it, the show just stunk, you know?
Yeah. So
So
whatever happened to that venue? Are they still
I
doing
still
this
they
or
brought me back. I'm still there.
see? Cheers to you.
Yeah.
That's really how I wanted this conversation to end.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
they
it's
did,
all about loyalty.
yeah,
yeah, that you know what? That's the number one word right there is loyalty, Matt. Thank you.
basically the story you gave us. That venue does not have a lot of loyalty. Now, it could be
No,
because
no.
the guy hadn't been there for very long, so they didn't feel like that it was going to be a problem with them jumping to someone else. Now, if he'd been
I
there,
think it was a situation where they were maybe feeling a little uncomfortable as far as like, as far as like my health is concerned.
yeah,
Like if this was going to happen again or something like that, like sometime down the road or whatever, it, they probably were looking at it like, okay, because I've had problems with this before when I was there before. I had a 5-year stint from 2015 up until COVID. And so I had issues back then too with the same thing.
yeah,
And so they're thinking he's a roller coaster. You know what I mean? So that's probably why they
yeah.
decided to look elsewhere for
Okay,
somebody.
quickly. Final thoughts on this,
Yes.
Kevin. Go.
Uh,
Any?
well, I mean, as far as the situation, it could also been and I thought I sort of mentioned it earlier. You could make a change and sort of use it as a negotiating tactic. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to make a change. And it's like, okay, now we'll go back to the other guy or we'll offer it to him. And it's like, well, we took it away. So if you want it back, you might have to go lower, for us to take you back. So, I mean, they could even use that. I'm always a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
but good point, Matt. You got a closing
Yeah.
point on this?
Once you go down, you never go back up.
Well, I think the closing part is based on what Matt's
Mm,
experience is if you can have your own person lined up that can be your lifeline.
Yeah,
That way it doesn't make the venue want to make a change. You're
right,
supplying them, you're keeping them their night the way they have it. Might not be you, but at least you're supplying that person to fill in.
right. Yeah,
okay.
I would say it's
Now,
probably a situation where I wouldn't even call the venue and say, "Hey, you know what? I can't work or whatever, but I'm going to look for somebody to fill in for me." I
Yeah.
would actually have a backup already in place
right.
and then just call them up
And
and
say I
say, "I
can't
can't
make
be
it
there,
and
but these guys are
John's
going to be
coming
there in
in.
my."
Right, right,
So I've already
right,
got a backup.
Yeah. No,
right,
nothing for you to be concerned with. I got you covered because
Yep.
that's part
right.
of my karaoke service. I have you covered, whether it's me or a friend of mine.
Hmm.
Okay, now my closing thing is I agree with you both. Always cover your butt if you ever do come down, ill. And you call them like you guys both just said, I can't make it. I'm sick. I'm in the hospital. Matthew's going to go in for me. He's great. No worries. Now, here's where that venue comes in, where this guy in that comment that you read. Do you know when you have somebody fill in for you? I don't care if it's somebody you know or if it's even the venue covering it per se.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have every one of his friends and their friends crash this thing
Mm-hmm.
and make it look huge. And they're going
Yep.
to say, oh my God, this is bigger than Matthew had it. Now, Matthew's gone for 1 week. He's sick.
Yeah.
Guess what, Matt? We're going with this guy. But
Yeah.
you know what's going to happen? Those people aren't going to show up every week. It never happens. You know, you
Nope.
could beg all your friends and all your look. I got a new venue. I'm filling it. Let's pack this place, and they do.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
but how long is that going to last?
Yeah.
And this is where the venue realizes the manager or what, and they like, oh God, Matt did have a better crowd. What's the word I'm looking for? Consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Not a one off, which is what this guy got lucky with. You
Mm-hmm.
guys see what I'm saying? And this is why you ended up getting a call back because he's losing, like Matt said. I think they were losing a lot of the regulars
Yeah.
when they got you.
Yeah. I mean, the
You
bar
know,
was
and
making money because the younger crowd was drinking.
Yeah.
right,
But the songs that they were selecting for that venue
I didn't
were
fit it.
like not appropriate.
right.
And so
So a
that
lot of the regulars there, and whether they were karaoke or not, they were probably big spenders. You know, they ate, they drank all night. They didn't want to hear all this BS, you know,
no.
so they stopped coming.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the venue's got to think, do I want to lose longtime patrons over a KJ? You know,
Yeah.
let's call Matt back, and I'm gonna make it quick because we gotta go. But when they did, it look if this happened to me, I don't think I would go up on the price. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'd be
I
like,
didn't.
no, no. Okay, see, Matt, you think like me. Okay, you want me back? I'll be there. Fine. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think out there watching? Just leave a comment below. I think this is a great topic, great question. I wouldn't ask for more money, especially if I didn't already cover that night, you know?
Yeah.
Now, if I had already covered that night at another place, well, it would have been a different story. Really, I think that's how we're going to end this. Because if that night is still open and they call you saying, please come back, we made a mistake, whatever they apologize or whether they don't, that's kind of their way of apologizing anyway, whether they apologize or not. I would go back and I wouldn't charge more. No, especially if I didn't have another gig. Now, if I had another gig, at that point, I'd be like, all right, who's got the better pocket? You know what I mean? Who's got the easier in and out, you know?
Yep.
I mean, that's how we look at it. I mean, look, none of us in here in this room are getting any younger,
Yep.
but it's the bottom line is we want to keep working and you don't want to play hardball if you don't have to, which I think playing hardball is actually going to bite you in the butt sometimes if you try to, you know? So with that, please leave comments below. Like, how would you handle this? Would you charge more if they asked you to come? And mind you, because I misunderstood all this, you're only out 1 week. You're sick 1 week,
Yep.
and then you get replaced. I'd say I didn't know. I thought it might have been more than 1 week. And then at that point, I can see them replacing you. You know,
Yeah.
keep that in mind too as you're watching this and before you leave a comment. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Mhm.
Take care, folks.